guitar, I know the chords. I play my cigar, lay it flat on the floor. The east and the west, their battles won't matter. Only the music can settle the score. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turning to bone. So rock till you die. Yeah, bones should protect my eyes, and when they eat my flesh. But I got the power to run all the hours and rock my life away. The sound of the crowd, the creak of the bones. I play it so loud with my mates or alone. It don't really matter if my world should shatter. I hold it together in order to stone. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die all alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn back to bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. You die alone, then turn into bone. So rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you die. Rock till you
Hello there, Matthew J. Elliot here, taking time out from doing British things like correcting people's grammar and, well, that's it really, to congratulate you, the listener, for selecting the True Blue Riffcast. Yes, you could have picked any one of the thousands of RiffTrax themed podcasts on the web, but your perspicacity led you to seek out the #1 RiffTrax podcast, and for that, you shall be commended. Now, I'm going to turn you over to your hosts, Dave and Jeremy, and I shall board a flight back to England without even so much as the boxed lunch I'd been promised.
No, Matthew, wait, don't leave. We're going to be talking about you. And he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. Well, this is the True Blue Riffcast. Thanks for that intro, Matthew J. Elliott. And I am your host, Jeremy, and I'm joined, as always, by...
Sup, everyone? It's me, Dave, or alternatively known as Dave the Winner.
Dave
Thank
the
you very
Winner.
much. You thought I was going to forget about that, didn't you? I sure didn't.
No, I was actually hoping that you didn't.
Oh, good. We are talking about our great and lovely experience. It's like our new favorite thing now is RiffTrax the game.
Yes, RiffTrax the game. We played in the last... I think you won like the last 2 games we played.
Yeah, I won the last 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't going to win because we had some. I hope those new listeners are back. The people who came and played with us. Because just like for a while it was just you and me. Remember?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we had a bunch of people show up.
And then suddenly we had a bunch of people show up. And it's just like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, so it's been a while, a couple weeks since we've done a show.
That's
thanks
okay.
to dumb work scheduling issues and all that fun stuff.
Do you want to talk
course-
about that other thing you were telling me about, or should I just not bring that up? If no, we can just pretend like I never said anything.
Well, since I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about.
No,
we might...
the event that you told me and that you're going to go back.
The event that I told you.
Yeah, you were going to go to a meeting with some people about something, and
Oh, yeah. That one, I'm still waiting to hear back from
Okay,
from that
all
one.
All right,
And
so
then
we
there
won't
was
talk about it.
there was
Everybody
a
pretend
different
like I
meeting
didn't say
that I
anything.
had at a different
Okay.
place. That I have another meeting on Monday morning,
Oh.
bright and early at 8 a.m. So
Oh,
hopefully
dear.
that one pans out. If the other one doesn't, they're
Yeah,
they're
and-
both better than the current one. So
Yeah, so if they don't pan out, well, we'll just forget that we said anything, or that
Yeah.
I did anyway.
yeah, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's fine by me. I can live with that. Yeah. So I see your you're writing, huh?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it's my weekend on being on my job, and this morning I decided to finally, because I've had a lot of ideas for the new book, and I tried to start it last year, and it just didn't work, and everything just like flopped and crashed and burned. So I was like, I'll come up with like all new ideas, and the idea was for there to be a moon landing, but there also to be like a clown cult involved on Earth, and have like these two stories run side by side. That's a lot harder to pull off than you might think, and I know it sounds like it could be really hard, but it's even harder than you would think about that.
Yeah.
So just like I just kind of like, it was just like one of those writing stress deals that like I just couldn't deal with it. So I was just like, whatever, I'll just reissue all my other books and make friends with all these amazing people that are going to record my audiobooks. So
Yeah.
a good thing
there you
came
go.
out of that.
Yeah.
So but those ideas wouldn't leave me. So what I decided to do, now I'm a big fan of novellas and like novella collections in like a single book.
Yeah.
And I know novels, because like my goal is ultimately to be published and to be like widely known Mr. Famous Author Man. But to do that, you really have to write novels. And to like publish a collection, like unless you're like Stephen King, they don't really sell, and people don't really want to buy. Like publishers don't want to buy those manuscripts that are like really short collections, because they don't sell for unknowns. But it's just like these ideas won't go away. So what I've decided to do is to just release them by writing them as separate stories. So what I'm going to
Okay.
do is it's going to be a collection of 4 novellas inspired by the novella collections of Stephen King, where he publishes 4 novellas in a volume and, puts them all in a book and publishes them. But it's also kind of inspired by The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. How they have that anthology. So they're all kind of like, they're all kind of have like a scary theme. So the first 2 are going to be the moon landing, where the astronauts fall into a cave and finds a robot lady. Spoilers, by the way. That's obviously not the whole story.
Right.
And the other one is going to be the clown cult thing, which I've kind of changed a little bit. The clown story is the one that I actually started writing this morning.
Oh, fun.
So, and I wrote like, if you're doing a NaNoWriMo, Google it if you don't know what that is. The pace of it is like 1,700 words a day. And this morning I wrote 2,600 words. And that's only because I've been thinking about these ideas since February 1st, 2021. Like that's how long, and like I know the exact day these ideas entered my brain.
That's quite a
I'm
while.
just gonna release them, and then come up with a couple more ideas, then just like tack them on and just make one volume. And I already know what the title of this collection is. It's based on very much how I'm doing this. It's called The Wrong Way to Do Things.
Nice.
I've had that title for a couple of years. Maybe when it comes out, I'll tell you the genesis of that title and how I used it to troll a bunch of people.
I mean, I like it though.
But I really do like.
Even without
that
knowledge, I like it.
Yeah. It's going to be called The Wrong Way to Do Things. It's just I really like the way that sounds. So, yeah, that's kind of how I spent my morning or weekend. So yeah, I'm back in that writing saddle. I'm gonna get these ideas out of my brain.
You know what I want to get out of my brain, Dave?
What's that?
Feeders 3.
Feeders
we're gonna be
3.
talking
Yeah, you
about
said
today.
you wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
Feeders
Guys,
3.
Jeremy got Feeders 3, I think, from Jeremy has an unusual amount of internet presence that I don't understand. And like, I guess his fans, because I used to have fans, now I don't. But his fans sent him a copy of Feeders 3, and he sent me like, look what I got. And I'm like, oh God, why do you have that?
Because people, I can't say like me. I would say like me, but they sent me Feeders 3, so I'm not sure if like is the proper word there.
You were really excited about it, man.
Oh, yeah,
Guys, don't
yeah.
let Jeremy fool you. Don't let Jeremy feed you this crap. See what I did there? I didn't even mean to.
No, and I am excited to talk about it too.
For
But
Feeders 3. And then he was like, he was sending me messages, and then like an hour later, he sent me a screenshot of like the first thing. It'd be like, oh, I made a horrible mistake.
yeah, we'll talk about that movie in a little bit. We'll also be talking about the latest BritTrax release.
Yeah.
From our good friends Matthew J. Elliot and Ian Potter, Creature from the Haunted Sea.
Yeah, we haven't talked about one of their releases for a good long while. And,
Yeah, it's been a
like,
minute.
hey, let's talk about this, not something else.
It's been a minute.
Because
Yeah,
it is technically the latest release from RiffTrax.
Yes. And I think we have a little bit to say about this movie as well because
we do. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're trying to figure out how Roger Corman was still able to keep making movies. As long as he.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about
been.
that. I have a lot to say about that, but we'll save it because if I get going now, then you're gonna have to hear the whole thing.
Yeah. Before we get into either of those things, we don't really have any updates from what the hell James Wen is doing. Unfortunately.
No, it's strange too. He posted a new
a-
trailer on May 18th or something. I don't know if we talked about it, but
yeah, we did.
Okay,
we did.
But his latest tweet, he's like in the Back to the Future car, where like these people. I've actually been in that car. Lots of millions of people have been in this car where you pay like $40 to go in there and get your picture taken, and it goes to like some charity for whatever the hell Michael J. Fox has. It's escaping me at this moment.
Parkinson's?
Yeah, it's going to like.
I know someone who has that car.
I see DeLoreans around, not all the time, but like enough to be like, there's a DeLorean. There's
you
one
know
over
what I'm
here
talking
in
about,
Morgan
Dave.
County. What's that?
You know who I'm talking about.
Who has a DeLorean car?
Yeah, everyone's favorite author, Ernie Klein.
God. Of course
This is
he does.
my daily reminder that Ernest Klein exists, and he
is richer than any of us will ever be.
Unfortunately, and he has
And
no
he
right
doesn't-
being that rich. But
he doesn't deserve to be.
No, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the current movies in theaters and see how
Yes, let's do
see how
that.
things are going in the box office. The number one movie last weekend in the box office, of course, was Jurassic World Dominion. $145 million on opening weekend.
Yeah.
Followed
have you
up by
heard-
Top Gun Maverick at number
Okay.
2.
I want to talk about that. Yeah.
Third place, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Sitting in fourth is The Bad Guys, and sitting in fifth is the Bob's Burgers movie, which makes me happy.
Yeah, that's not something I would expect there to be a movie about.
Yeah.
So I actually want to talk about two of those movies. One I have seen and one I have not, and I don't think it's in the cards for me to go to the theater to see it. Based on
Jurassic World.
Yeah, Jurassic World. Let's talk about that one first. Have you heard the reviews for it?
Yes.
It's real bad.
I fail to believe that it is any worse than Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World?
I don't know, man. 30%
'Cause as far
on
as I'm
Rotten
concerned,
Tomatoes is real
that's-
bad.
Yeah, but I like Jurassic Park 2 is well, at least up until now. I'll have to see it and pass judgment on it then. But yeah, Jurassic Park 2 is awful. That's probably the
Okay.
worst out of all 5 up until this point.
Now I have famously bad taste in movies, and I think I gotta say that I think Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom up until this point is the worst Jurassic Park movie.
That one's pretty bad too. It's not great.
So I mean, do you think RiffTrax does this one because they did the first 2? They don't really do series anymore on MP3s. Something I hope changes. But
I have a feeling that we'll get this one eventually.
I hope so, because it's like
Probably, if I had to wager a guess, I'd say this one, if we don't get it by the end of the year, because the turnaround time on this stuff coming to home streaming stuff is like nothing anymore. It's like
yeah, no, it's like
it's
yeah,
still
no,
in the
Batman
theaters
is
when it
already
shows
in
up in the
theaters,
streaming service. But yeah, if we don't get this one by the end of the year or within like the first month of 2023, it's going to be the first Kickstarter stretch goal for an MP3 for the next Kickstarter. That's my guess. Much like how we got old, I think that's probably how we're going to get Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, I am pro more MP3 camp these days. But the thing is, like, I was gonna go see this in the theater just to like finish it off, right? And like I knew it was gonna be bad. I mean, I saw the Eternals in the theater, for crying out loud. Why? I mean, like, you know, just because I was so desperate to get back into the theaters, I saw this movie that I knew I was gonna hate.
Yeah.
And I went to go see it in the theaters, and I had a mildly good time. But I was like, you know, I saw Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom in the theater. Let's go top it off. And then I was talking to my brother after we saw the reviews. We're like, do we want to go pay $50 with inflation and everything that's going on right now that makes everything so expensive? Do we want to waste our money to go see this in the theater? And we were like, no. Like, this is like, I mean, everybody loves seeing a train wreck.
Yeah.
But like, how much of like, at what point does it stop being a train wreck? And are you just like embarrassed and you feel like you're wasting your time and you're angry at yourself for going to see it? That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
But hooray, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are back in the movie.
Hey, you know, I'm happy for them.
Sam
really
Neill
am.
got an Sam Neill was in a movie that wasn't directed by Taika Waititi.
Hey, now what's wrong with that?
There's nothing
Absolutely
wrong
nothing.
with it.
Absolutely nothing. Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be outstanding.
I hope
I don't
so.
know, did you see? You're speaking of Taika Waititi and Sam Neill. Have you seen Hunt of the was it Hunt for the Wilder People?
I've heard of it.
That one is good.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I hear crickets. You must be outside again, Dave.
I am. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great.
It's
like-
100 degrees here today.
Really?
So,
wow.
I've
It was
got-
45 degrees here yesterday, but I think it's jumped. I think it's something like, well, I can find out right now. I'm actually on my phone. I can tell you in 5 seconds. Hopefully, I don't end the call.
Yeah, please don't.
Right now, it is 69 degrees here, so it's right in that sweet spot.
Yeah, that's not horrible. It's better than it is here for sure.
Yeah, but Top Gun, I did see that movie.
Yeah, and I seem to recall you really liked it.
I really liked it. It was it's basically like, you know, it's kind of absurd that that Tom Cruise's character would still be in the Navy after all this time, but whatever. They actually make a point of saying that it's been like, okay, if you've you're still a captain. They make they keep calling him the captain. Like he's like that's like a full bird colonel equivalent in the Army. That's not nothing. But at the same time, if he's been in the Navy for 36 years at this point, they do make a point of saying that you should at least be a 2-star admiral by this point. And you just be like, I love to fly, blah. Right?
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, he should
really
be a little bit higher ranked.
Yeah, it is pure 80s schmaltz. I saw Jerry Bruckheimer's name in the opening credits, and I was like, what? He's still alive?
You kind of know what you're getting at that point. Like,
yeah, so, dude, but it was like, I mean, like, I've been lately since the Rise of Skywalker is when I kind of, like, joined the ranks of, like, down with nostalgia culture and crap like that. But then it's to be like, you want to go see Top Gun? I was like, yes, I do.
Heck yeah.
So I didn't rewatch the first one. I remember enough of it. So you would think that it would be a different plot, and it is. It is and it isn't.
It is and it isn't.
It is and it is not the same kind of thing. They have the same characters, only like older, and the same characters, but different characters, but younger. Like Hangman is clearly Iceman, and you know like they have Goose's son shows up in this, and his name is Rooster, and
geez.
he resents Tom Cruise. It's kind of stupid, but by the end of the movie, you're totally on board with it because it's pure 80s schmaltz schlock. And it's just
which
like
is
plain
really what
fast.
you want from a Top Gun movie, like.
Yeah, it's absolutely what you want. Now they did, I will say, one of the funniest and just one of the saddest parts of the whole movie is just how they did Val Kilmer so dirty.
Really?
He's in the movie. Iceman he's a 4-star admiral, and he's the commander of the Pacific Fleet. Oh, spoilers, everyone, by the way, for Top Gun Maverick. And he's the one that assigns Maverick back to the Top Gun school to be an instructor, because they have some super secret mission where they gotta like fly planes really fancy, otherwise just and he's got to teach all these recent Top Gun winners to fly real fancy even more and get to Mach 10, and oh my gosh. So he's in the movie, but most of the time you just see him talking to Maverick through instant message. Like, how old am I? Through text.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's kind of.
Yeah, but they don't trust Val. You can tell that the producers did not trust Val Kilmer to act, because when they actually show him on screen, because like he sent the text to Tom Cruise, and it'd be like, I need to see you, and then Tom Cruise texts back, be like, not a good time, and then Iceman says back, he's like, I wasn't asking. It's like, ah, shoot. So he actually goes to see Val Kilmer. He goes to see Iceman. And he goes to this nice house, and he like sees like Iceman's wife. I guess they're friends, and they're like, oh, how is he? It'd be like, the cancer's back, and I was like, oh no.
Well,
the cancer's back. Yeah, they gave him throat cancer, and
well,
they said it
that's
hurts
because
to
he has
even talk.
He has throat cancer.
Who, Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
Does he really?
Yeah, he has one of those voice boxes that he has to hold to his trachea to talk.
Oh no! See, this is something I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know, but just like, so they gave his they put he talks to Val Kilmer through, like, they have him like type his lines out on a monitor, and Tom Cruise is basically acting against like this monitor. And I didn't know this. I literally found this out 5 seconds ago when Jeremy just told me.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just like, I just assumed that they didn't trust Val Kilmer enough
Oh
to
no.
act that they gave his character throat cancer and like made him type out all his lines because it's be like, you are such a horrible actor now, Val. We're gonna have you do your lines through a computer.
Nope. He's had 2 tracheotomies and chemotherapy back starting in 2017.
This better be true. You better not be making me feel bad.
No. 100%.
Okay, well, I kind of feel like a jackass. Well, why should I know that? Why should I feel bad? I felt I was on his side.
And then
But,
it says in 2021, after complex work, Kilmer's voice was able to be recreated through AI technology using archival audio of his voice. This technology was used to produce his voice in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, wow. So I guess they didn't do him dirty. I guess they did him a solid?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I was... Okay, guys, you're going to hear something that is not often said by me genuinely. I was wrong.
Oh.
So, wow, I guess
clip
they...
that, and I'm going to use that for a ringtone.
Yeah.
Dave saying, I was wrong.
But so that's not quite as a funny bit as I was
No.
thinking it was going to be.
Oh, it's funny to me because I'm like...
Yeah, it's funny to you because I look like a jackass.
Oh, man.
But anyway, the other thing I wanted to say, we'll move on from that.
That's probably a good idea.
Well, okay. Well, to cap that part of the Top Gun discussion off, they kill Iceman. They have him succumb to his cancer, and they give him like this big fancy funeral in San Diego, or wherever the hell it is they are, Miramar. And then they go on their mission, and it's a success. And Hangman saves the day at the last second, and they all hug each other. And Jennifer Connelly's in the movie, and she is 50 years old, and she is crazy hot. Like, I was amazed. Like, everyone's like, why isn't Kelly McGinnis in this movie? And then Kelly McGinnis, I guess, went on Twitter or some interview or some magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
And she says, they didn't want me in the movie because I'm too old, too fat, and I look age appropriate. And I was like, yeah, that tracks. I'm like, she said it.
But you liked the movie.
But that,
You liked the movie?
oh yeah, I loved the movie. It was fantastic. It made me feel really good. But the other thing I wanted to say real quick is that my friend Al Creed, go to @Al Creed on Twitter and Instagram to see all his great, cool pixel art.
Oh yeah, he does
sent
some
me a
great
message.
wrestling pixel art and stuff.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He sent me a message about this dude who like writes like some freaking hoity-toity like bleeding heart person who doesn't like the military. I don't want to get political or anything like that.
Is this that article that was posted?
He wrote an article. And it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just the headline. Now it's true what he says. Dude
got dragged big time.
Because
and I know this because I'm one of the people who dragged him.
Yeah, I replied to his tweet, and Matthew J. Elliott got on there, and he started like agreeing with me and everything. It was fantastic.
Yeah. He did end up deleting it. After it started getting attention, and
everyone started telling him that he was a
from
big
Jacobin.
dumb.
Yeah, he said it was. There's no way around it. Top Gun Maverick is grotesque. That's the tweet.
Well, I don't know if that's it, but like go to @DChadwickAuthor and go to like tweets and replies or whatever the hell. And someone says it's like the thing I'm talking about is it's a Top Gun Maverick is Pentagon propaganda, and this Freedom of Information Act stuff proves it. And I was like, well, yeah, dumbass. Everyone's known that for decades.
Everybody knew that about the first one. Like, how many kids saw that first movie? I say kids, but like, teenagers, and were like, "Oh man, that'd be awesome!
Like,
I want to go
fly join the Air Force or the Navy.
I want to go fly a jet. I want to fly an F-15."
Yeah. So just be like, plane go fast. It's like, yeah, that's That's the whole movie. The movie doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not.
No.
Be like, well, then the Department of Defense wanted it to be portrayed positively. I'm like, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like, this is not news, bro.
No.
I mean, like, everyone was completely open and upfront about what these movies are, and guess what? No one cares. One thing I will say about the movie, though, and this is going to be the last thing I really want to say about Top Gun Maverick, is that in this and movies like it, now I was in the Army for a very long time. And you really, like, in movies like this, you see them go out to, like, bars, and they're hanging out in, like, their dress speeds with, like, all their medals and their shiny rank. And they'll be like, now, I know why they do this.
Yeah.
It's because they want people to be like, ooh, I can be hot and awesome and be cool, look cool in a service uniform like that, and get all the girls or the guys, depending on whatever, whatever floats your boat, that kind of thing. I get that. I know that's why they do it. It's because they want the military guys to look great, so people go join the military. I understand that, and that's how, speaking as someone who was 20 years ago, oh my God, a young military man, that's kind of how we see ourselves. But nobody goes out and hangs out in their Class Bs because, number one, that's against the rules, and number two, it's kind of uncomfortable. Like, no one does that. Like, that's really it. I mean, I don't dislike it. It's just like, it just kind of jarring. It's like, no one does that. That's
yeah. Oh man! All right.
Full stop.
Right. I guess it's time to start talking about Feeders 3. All right. Let's.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay. So.
Okay.
A couple years ago, RiffTrax gifted us the release of Feeders, a movie made by the Polonia brothers.
The infamous Polonia brothers.
And let me look and see exactly when that came out, because I don't remember. It was November 1st, 2019, when we got the first Feeders movie. This movie was kind of infamous. It was released through Blockbuster. It was released through Blockbuster, and it was the #1 selling VHS science fiction movie for the year that it came out, which was 91 or something like that.
Yeah, and everyone, they all got fooled.
Yeah. Well, that was because it came out the same year that it was 96. It was the same year that came out, Independence Day.
Yeah.
It was around the time Independence Day came out anyway. I'm not sure if it was the same year. I don't remember when that movie came out.
It was 96.
Was it? Okay. And then in December of 2019, nearly a month later, just over a month later, we got Feeders 2, Sleigh Bells, the sequel to Feeders, about the aliens coming back. Well, yeah, it is, kind of. I think this one, okay, you're going to have to bear with me here, because this kind of ties into Feeders 3. I think it was supposed to be different aliens coming to Earth from a different part of space.
Did you come to find Santa Claus?
Oh my God! Okay, that's the amazing thing about that movie. They had Santa in that movie, and he
Santa.
Inexplicably sounded like Kermit the Frog,
like a knockoff Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Hi ho, Santa Claus here.
Let's go kick some alien ass. Yeah.
You've been naughty. Like, that's what he sounded like. It was the most bizarre choice. But it's, obviously was meant for humor.
On that, I just want to put in this little plug. Colette Thomas, who is narrating Son of Santa, my Santa Claus novel, does a fantastic Santa Claus voice. I just want to put that in there.
Probably better than the one for Feeders 2.
Oh, definitely a 1,000 times better than ones for Feeders. That's not even a Santa Claus voice.
Yeah. Feeders 2 was released 1998, so 2 years after the original. You can actually also, if you can watch these up on, they're on Tubi for free. So if you haven't seen the RiffTrax versions, maybe just watch the RiffTrax versions. Don't watch the regular. But if you really want to, the original versions of the movies are up on Tubi. At least Feeders 2. I don't know about Feeders 1. But
Guys, okay, guys, look, watch the RiffTrax versions of Feeders. You don't want to go into this without backup.
yeah, and if you want more in-depth conversation, you can, or more in-depth of us talking about this. We did talk about both of these on the podcast. So you dig through the old episodes, and you can see what we fully think about these two movies. I personally, they're two of the best riffs that we got in 2019. 2019 was chock full of some amazing stuff. But Feeders and Feeders 2 I love them. They're great riffs.
And yet, amazingly, The Visitor got both of our nods
Yeah.
for Riff of the Year.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, it was announced that they were working on Feeders 3. And it was kind of one of those, okay, they're not actually going to do this. Well, they did.
Of course they are.
It came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. Direct to DVD it was released. And,
well, of course it was.
well, yeah. But, I mean, it's like not on streaming anywhere that I could find. Unless it's on Tubi, I don't know. But they probably don't want to cannibalize the sales
Their
of
viewership,
the
their numbers
DVDs.
on, yeah. For classic Feeders, the one that everyone likes.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna look real quick to see if it's on. No, it's not. Okay, it's not up on Tubi. Anyway, it showed up in my mailbox as a birthday gift. I'm assuming, which was like about a week and a half ago now.
Yeah, it was the same day we did the RiffTrax game.
Yeah, and so I watched it because of course
okay, guys,
I did.
I just want to say again, Jeremy was super stoked for this.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually had a bit of a conversation with Connor Listolka about it
Okay.
because he wanted to know how it was. So I'm gonna give you guys the same brief summary, and then I'll go a little bit more into depth. But
Okay.
I said it's a little bit self-aware. In that
That's
it has.
the kiss of death.
In that, it has an opening that it has a Plan 9 opening with Mr. Lobo from Cinema Insomnia doing like a little intro for it, basically.
Oh, God.
And his thing is they're not bad movies; they're just misunderstood. Like that's his like tagline, his saying. So he talks about that a little bit, and then there's an intermission in the movie.
There's an intermission.
There's an intermission in the movie, and it's I don't remember the lady's name. There's some lady she's talking about watching the movie. When it almost feels kind of like an Elvira-ish type thing.
Oh no!
But then she gets interrupted by Count Gore Duvall.
What?
Yeah. And he starts talking about he wanted there to be an intermission because that's what they used to do in movies, and he wanted to
when they
get
were
people to
5
know
hours
what they
long.
meant. Yeah. If you don't know who Count Gore Duvall is, he is a television horror host. He's like the Dungeon or something like that. But he also.
Yes, his co-host is Christopher Chuckley.
He also was.
Look it up.
I'm trying to find his. Okay, I can't. His real name is Dick Diesel, I believe it's pronounced.
Yeah.
And he actually has some ties into RiffTrax because he was in the Galaxy Invaders.
What?
He was Dr. William Tracy in the Galaxy Invader.
Which one was he? It's been
he was-
years and years since I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Well, the Doctor. I don't.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've watched that one too. But yeah. So
I just
that's-
all I remember from Galaxy Invaders is the monster and the guy with the torn shirt.
yeah. So that was a little weird. The plot of the movie, it's still very much a Polonia movie. Like, don't get me wrong here. There's a little bit of self-awareness, but that's about the most of it right there. The movie itself is kind of meta in the fact that it's the son of the guy who at the end of the first Feeders was like taken over by the aliens, and he was like trying to kill his friend. His son, he's still alive. He's like comatose or something. He's not comatose, but he's like he's wheelchair bound. Like, he doesn't do anything. And his son is making a movie based on the events of what happened to his dad. So he's making a movie. It's very Scream 2. He's making a movie based on the events that happened in the first movie. And so half of it centers around that. There's the aliens, like, right at the end. This is why I think the aliens from the two Feeders movies were different species, as it were. Right at the very end, the one aliens, they're killing people, and then this other aliens show up, and they have a conversation with each other. And they're like, oh, we're from here. Oh, well, we're from here. And they're like, okay, you want to help us, we're trying to enslave the Earth. Oh, well, we want to eat the people. And they're like, oh, well, let's work together. And they destroy the Earth, and that's the end of the movie. But
they destroy the Earth?
They take over, yeah. And they kind of murk Santa. Because Santa shows up in the movie.
He does?
Yeah. And he still has his same voice. And he has an even better laser gun. And then they just blast him and literally just kill him. After he drops an F-bomb. Which I thought was interesting. But it's got slightly better digital effects.
Jeremy.
Ever so slightly better digital
think
effects.
About what you're saying.
I know. They make fun of the alien puppets used in the first movie. By using the alien puppets from the first movie. And just like, God, these things stink. And they're like, oh, well, that's what the aliens look like. And the one guy's like,
you were stupid for liking it.
yeah, basically. The one guy's like, don't you think they should at least have a mouth that moves up and down? And then they're like, well, nobody will notice. Like,
shut up. I hate that. It's
a Feeders movie. It fits right in line with the rest of them. I really hope RiffTrax does it. I really do. They would have to take off probably the intro, and the intermission. Get rid of those, chop those off, and you'll be fine. Like, nobody would be any wiser.
Well, I think
it would add to. I think it would add to the appeal if you did it that way. But
I think
don't know, maybe
based on what you've told me, they won't, for the same reason that they didn't do Birdemic 2.
Well, like I said, I did have a little bit of a conversation about this, and they're gonna check it out. They're gonna give it a look. At least that's what I'm hearing, or they're gonna give it a look. Anyway, if you like the first two Feeders movie, first of all, go get your head checked. Second, get the third one. See, I don't have to get my head checked because I already know what's wrong with me. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't watch those movies on Rift. I wouldn't do it.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
And
I watched Forrest Gump recently for the first time since like the 90s.
Oh, I thought you were going to say for the first time, like.
No, for the first time since like since high school, in like at least 20 years.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it does not hold up.
I haven't watched it in a very long time, so I don't really know.
You'll watch it. You'll just be like, oh my God. like especially the part at the beginning where the mom with the principal, that's super cringe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Your mama sure
But
does
anyway.
care about your education.
Oh God. Oh no. That's terrible.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about some RiffTrax, actual RiffTrax, with RiffTrax Presents Creature from the Haunted Sea, presented by Matthew J. Elliot and Ian Potter. Now, for those of you who are wondering who Matthew J. Elliot and Ian Potter
No
are...
one listening to this podcast doesn't know who those guys are. I don't think.
But people listening to this podcast don't... I don't know. I can't say all of them. Some of them definitely don't watch
Don't
Matthew
partake.
and Ian stuff, and that's part of
Yeah,
the
that's
reason
part
why
of
we
that
like to
crowd that
feature
just
them
feel
on
like,
here.
Well, like what they leave comments and be like, "Oh, I don't watch those guys." It's like, well, keep it to yourself. You know, it's like we do. Like, we are fans.
Of all of it,
Yeah.
all of the RiffTrax. Now let's see. This movie, Creature from the Haunted Sea, was released in 1961. It's a horror comedy film directed by Roger Corman.
Okay, now
It's supposed to be a parody
is it
spy
of what?
movies, gangster movies, and monster movies, specifically Creature from the Black Lagoon. Because
don't believe you.
Of course it is.
I mean,
Yeah, I
not
don't-
you personally, Jeremy. I don't. I like when I say
yeah.
you, I mean, like, I don't believe you, Roger Corman. Like you said, like yeah. Okay, look, Roger Corman is awful at doing comedy. I don't care what anybody says. If you like genuinely laugh at this, or at Little Shop of Horrors, or just like anything that he'd be like, yuck, yuck, be like, what's wrong with you? I mean, like, are you simple? Did you get dropped on your head? Like, I don't want to say any bad words here, but I mean, like, you know, do people got to feed you your food?
Oh man. That's
Welcome
kinda
back
how
to the
I
edit,
felt
everybody.
after watch this movie. Yeah. I miss those sometimes. But yeah, this movie was bad. Like, I
Yeah,
know
no,
it's supposed
it's
to be bad
bad.
because it's Roger Corman, but you expect terribleness.
It's an hour. It feels like 4.
Oh yeah, it felt way
It's
longer.
Really,
Well, here's the thing. Something was definitely removed from the version that RiffTrax was able to do, because the full version of the movie is 75 minutes long.
oh, so somewhere we lost 15 minutes.
This still felt longer than that.
Yeah,
somehow. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was
it's-
draining.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's I don't want to say it's like Copper Mountain bad, but yeah, it's I mean, like, okay, guys, it was my idea to talk about this because we haven't talked about BritTrax in a little while. So I was like, oh, let's do Creature from the Haunted Sea. Now, I'm not saying I regret that, because I did have a fun time listening to the riff, which is
Yes.
always the main point of all this. But generally, our discussion tends towards like the movie itself. And like the plot, I don't want to say it's incomprehensible, but it's like, it's annoying, and you actively want all the characters to die.
Which is a
Like,
good thing,
especially-
because
Most of them
do.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's not satisfying, really. I mean, like, the guy I wanted to die the most, or just or at the very least just go away and to stop, was the guy who made recorded animal sounds.
Yeah.
Now, I did a little research on this movie, and the screenplay was written in 3 days, and it shows.
It shows. Yeah, the guy
And-
who makes all the animal noises was I mean, he's homicidal. We know that.
Yeah, well, they're all homicidal. I mean, they're all just
Yeah,
like,
but this guy specifically,
yeah. And
I didn't realize that this movie was shot back to back.
Yeah,
in
back
Puerto
to back
Rico with Last Woman on Earth and Battle of Blood Island.
Yeah, that's why they have the same cast. Yeah, like I think the backstory and like how this movie was made, like is kind of more interesting than the movie itself, because like Roger Corman had a bunch of, like, he had just won this bet, and I still can't believe that people make movies on bets. He had just won this bet with Little
Hey,
Shop
that's
of
how we got
Horrors.
Manos, isn't it?
Yeah, but number one, I can't believe people do that, or they make that. Here's the thing: like, he wanted to make that movie. He wanted to make Manos. Okay, the bet was just an excuse. Roger Corman has major studio funding behind him, and it'd be like, I bet you I can make this craptastic pile of garbage in like over a weekend or something with Little Shop. And he did it, and they're like, okay, well, that was terrible. Go do more of that. And so he had a guy who like could make this very terrible monster costume.
Oh,
and this
my
is something we got to
God.
talk about.
We definitely have to talk
gotta
about this monster costume.
Yeah, and like
I'm going to try
he
and
had,
bring
like,
it up
some-
real quick.
He had
too,
some
while you're talking.
unused footage, and like another script that he had a guy to be like, hey, take this and rewrite it and make it a comedy, but you have like 3 days because we're leaving for Puerto Rico because they have tax breaks to go film there. Rewrite it in 3 days, or write it and rewrite it from scratch, and then rewrite it again in 3 days. Bring it back, and we'll shoot the movie in 5 days. Now, all that shows in the movie that this was just like something that nobody put any kind of effort into. They were just doing it just to just make movies, just make a movie, just make a movie, just make a movie. And this is kind of like why I resent Roger Corman in a lot of ways, because he's held up as like this pioneer, just like this great person, this fantastic movie maker. All his movies are crap. And he directed like 55 movies. He did that because he didn't care about what he was doing.
Yeah, it's easy to direct a bunch of movies when you're just spewing them out. Literally, just spewing them out.
Like with Little Shop, would be like, well, at least that gave us that terrible musical that everybody thinks is so great. Like, no, that's bad. I don't want that. But this especially just kind of like irked at me, because like every character is so horrible and the comedy lands like so flat.
Yeah,
it's like so tone deaf. It just makes me wonder. And like, there are people that Roger Corman is sending this stuff back to. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. We'll run that with on the B side of whatever the hell else. Like, people will go pay to see this. Screw people.
yeah.
People are dumb.
He
they'll see
directed 55 films, produced 385 films. So he's done a lot.
Yeah, he's done a lot, but it's just like a lot of what he's done is stuff like this, and Little Shop, and The Last Woman on Earth.
The
Where he
saga
clearly
of the
doesn't-
Viking women and their voyage to the waters of the great sea serpent.
Yeah, there's like nothing. I mean, okay, look, when I write like Monkey took me 6 months from start to finish to write the first draft, and then like another 3 months of editing it by myself to publish it. And that's one thing I get. I get one thing out of 9 months of work. And like I have to like work really hard.
Yeah.
Nobody worked really hard on these movies, and you can tell by the way that the actors are behaving. They're just like, okay, just go, just do. Like, who's working hard on that?
Look
Like,
look at this. I gotta Okay. From let's see, October 1959.
okay.
He had 2 movies come out that he directed in
Okay.
October, the same month. A Bucket of Blood and The Lost Women. Another movie he produced also came out, Attack of the Giant Leeches. And then 1960, he directed Ski Troop Attack that came out in April. A movie that he produced came out also in April of 1960. June 1960, House of Usher. August 1960, Last Woman on Earth. September 1960, Little Shop of Horrors. Like, that's a ton of work right there in just 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah,
it's a ridiculous amount of things to be spinning forth. There's no way you can have quality with that. There's no way.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the point I'm making with, like, I don't understand it. Like, I resent Roger Corman. Like, why do you resent Roger Corman? Because, man, he's a hack. He has this undeserved reputation of being this pioneer.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I mean, by that standard, then the guys who ran Canon Films should be considered pioneers. You know? It's like the Polonia brothers should be considered pioneers. Like,
yeah,
and I guess
I mean,
in a way they are for making garbage. But anyway, it's just like, I don't want to sound like, I don't want this to get off on just like me sounding like a whiny a-hole.
Yeah.
But like, man, and I'll just cap off what I have to say about that. Just, you know, screw Roger Corman. You know, I know he's 90. I know he's almost 100 years old, but screw that old man.
Yeah. For those of you watching at home, watching along with us right now, if you go on the hang on a sec. My kid's doing something. Hang on. I have the monster brought up.
Oh,
and,
yeah, we gotta talk about this.
It's literally just a big fuzzy thing. Like, I know it's supposed to look like
It looks
seaweed
like
or something.
it looks like a big
but...
bad. It looks like a big bad yip.
Yep.
Yip,
It
yip,
sure
yip,
does.
yip.
I didn't even think about that, and it 100% does.
And we were talking about this before about the if you were on set with Roger Corman and you were the monster. I said, okay, hey Jeremy, we're out here for 5 days, and you're the monster. Here, put this on and go underwater. And
I would have told him to screw off.
You wouldn't do it, right? Be like, nope, I'm not getting in that thing and going underwater. I don't care if I have an air tank.
Like, there's no way that would be good. Like,
it wouldn't be good for the human. It wouldn't be good for the suit either.
No, it would be so heavy too, especially because there's scenes of, walking out of the water and it's just like dripping, and this thing would be so heavy. And I have a thing like about being in situations where like I can't move good, like being held down by stuff, and this, like, that gives me almost like an anxiety attack just looking at this suit and thinking about how hard it would be to move when you're coming out of the water.
Scene, that one scene where you see him like at the very end where he comes in and he like gets the bikini girl, where he walks up, like that was like they have to have been like, that's like maybe the one competent shot that they did, because there was a whole bunch of like bad shot filled with errors.
Oh yeah,
in this movie.
But I mean, it's Roger Corman, so
yeah,
again,
but
it's kind of to be expected.
That was like the one really kind of like competent shot. And I don't know, if I was working on if I was 12 years old and I was making a movie and like I got a shot like that, I would be pretty proud of it if I was 12, But the suit itself, we were talking about, can we think of a RiffTrax creature in the shorts or in the features, either or, that is worse than this?
And I immediately said, aside from the feeders aliens, because
yeah.
The only other one that comes to mind, honestly, is, and I just thought about this, the the rare times in Fungicide where it was actually like supposed to be a creature.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the awful CG that they used for it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm
You think
hard
that's
pressed.
worse?
Yeah.
Now
Because that had there was no details on that suit
the-
at all.
The candidates that came to my mind, or just like the one candidate that came to my mind, the one that could possibly be worse. But then I think about it, like, no, this is worse because they didn't care. And the people who made God Monster of Indians Flats did.
Yeah.
Now,
This is worse than that one for sure.
Yeah, the sheep monster from God Monster of Indian Flats. It's bad. But I mean, it didn't have yip eyes with ping pong balls.
No,
and you could see
hard-boiled
like
eggs for eyes. As they
it's
said
really
in the
bad.
riff.
It's like, and I think I read somewhere, or maybe I heard it in the riff, that they used it for like 3 other movies too, or something. I don't know.
I honestly think that I've seen that creature suit in different films. Like, 'cause I saw it, and as soon as I saw it, I recognized it. I just don't know where I recognized it from.
It looks like
it
looks like a Muppet. It's just like, but the thing is,
it's
like
discount Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that the other one that came to mind was the creature from Invasion of the Animal People, but that monster is terrific.
Oh yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
I literally can't think of anything other than Fungicide and Feeders that has worse creatures. Oh, maybe things.
I don't know, dude. I have purged things from my memory, so I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah, I think because you do get some look. I don't know. Things might even have a better creature than Creature from the Haunted Sea. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm just saying maybe it might be. I was almost gonna say Winter Beast, but Winter Beasts were way better than this.
Wow.
But this movie's awful. Awful. Like, honestly, I want to go through our entire normal list, and it's going to get 0.5 for everything except for riffing, which gets a 5.
Yeah, the riffing, yeah. I mean,
they
it's always great.
knocked it out of the park with the riffs in this.
Because they were saying what we all were feeling. It's just like they didn't hold back. They're just like, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, no, this was outstanding work from Matthew and Ian. Outstanding. And it normally is because, okay, I know we get sick of all the VODs and all this stuff, and that's another reason why I like having the RiffTrax Presents stuff, simply because
they do different kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they have a different view of things when it comes to even just writing their riffs.
Yeah.
Like, because they're going to have different, they don't have the same view that, Mike, Kevin, Bill, Connor, Sean, all of our writers for our normal stuff have. So
yeah,
it's nice to get that bit of a fresh breath of air into it. Also, the Bridget Mary Jo stuff obviously is great.
Yeah.
And Matthew has been writing for those too for a little while, which is kind of fun. Speaking of Mary Jo, she did finally finish her book about her mother, and
nice.
Her book reviews that she found, like, on little note cards and stuff. And my copy just shipped. It'll be here on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to reading it, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit on the next episode of the podcast.
Nice.
Just a little heads up, because I'm expecting to really enjoy it from the previews that I've seen, and I think it'll be really good, and I'm really excited to have that. But again, if you guys don't give the BritTrax, any of the RiffTrax Presents stuff, if you don't give it a fair shot, you gotta try it somewhere, guys. And it's okay, but you gotta give it a fair shot. Like, just
Now,
like
is
we
Flight to
did with
Mars-
new MST. You gotta give it a fair shot before you just say, well, I
We
don't
did
like
that.
it.
We gave new MST a shot. We gave that garbage a shot more than it deserved. Okay, if we can give that crap a shot, you can give Matthew J and Ian a shot.
And that's the thing. Like, we watched some of it. We knew we didn't like it, and guess what? We still went back to try because,
I stopped. I stopped after I went back to what was it in?
But
the
you
one in
watched more than
2018.
just like one episode, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I went back and I watched the the one where it was just 6 on Netflix with Mac and Me and
Oh,
a
the
couple other
Gauntlet?
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gauntlet. Yeah, I didn't. After that, just this past their Gizmo whatever
The Gizmo
app.
Plex.
I'm not playing that game. I've given up.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the new stuff. I do know that they did Munchies, which was another Roger Corman thing. But I honestly would rather see Munchie. No, they did Munchie. Munchies was the Roger Corman one. Munchie was the one where he's wish granting and sentient, and he talks and he flies around on pizza. Munchies, I would love to see RiffTrax do. That's another movie that I saw when I was younger, and I knew it was awful, but I loved it because of that. That was a big part of why I loved it. And it was a Gremlins ripoff, straight up. It was another Hobgoblins, except they weren't on a movie studio. They
Goblins.
found them in some ancient ruins down in Central America or something like that. And he only replicated after the guy chopped them up into little pieces, and then the little pieces grew into their own little thing. Yeah, I like that. I like that movie, not because it's good, but just because it's a horrible and it's a fun watch. But I would love to see RiffTrax tackle that one. That'd be outstanding. Also, another thing I'd like to see them tackle, and this is related to Creature from the Haunted Sea. Directly, this is a movie released as part of Roger Corman Presents.
Oh no!
It was released in 1997, called The Haunted Sea. And
That just sounds familiar to me.
well, here's the plot for it. Well, yeah, I wonder why. In the Yucatan Peninsula, a ship, the Hades, is found drifting in the ocean without a crew. Captain Ramsey and his crew discover the ship's cargo contains ancient Aztec treasure from Montezuma's temple. I'm going to turn you down for a second.
Wow.
Crewmen Diego and Lane try to steal the treasure. One of them gets possessed by a statue and turns into a reptile monster that kills Lane and then sets about killing the rest of the crew. Now, the other interesting thing about this movie is it's got James Brolin in it.
Thanos?
Yeah, Thanos. No, that's his son, Josh. This is James Brolin.
What was I thinking?
Um,
Tom Skerritt?
but yeah, it's basically the same type of thing. They're trying to steal the thing, and I don't know. I think it'd be funny if now RiffTrax did the Haunted Sea, or even if Bridget and Mary Joe did the Haunted Sea as
I
the
want
counter
RiffTrax to do
to
Top
Creature
Gun.
from the Haunted
first
Sea.
Top Gun.
Oh, that would be
That would be
that would
amazing.
be wonderful. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, RiffTrax, if you're listening, do Top Gun. I command
Yeah.
you.
You owe us. We give you Kickstarter money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I gave you $25 2 years ago. You owe us. I saw Sharknado one time.
Oh, oh man! But again, I'm just gonna reiterate it one more time. Go check out the RiffTrax Presents stuff if you haven't. Just give it a shot. Watch some of the shorts that Bridget and Mary Joe do. That's a start.
I would say if you have to just try one thing from Matthew J and Ian, it would be Flight to Mars.
Yeah.
In 2016. I'm not sure if that's available anymore.
I knew you were gonna say Flight to Mars.
I
knew you were gonna say that one.
It's like the absolute look, it's like the absolute perfect RiffTrax thing. Like from the movie selection to the riffs, it's hysterical. It's perfect. It's like a perfect 10.
Flight to Mars.
It's
It says
amazing.
it's
Yeah.
It says it's not there.
That angers me because it's like one of the best things RiffTrax, not just RiffTrax Presents, but it's one of the best things RiffTrax has ever done.
Well, I would
mean
say if you can't watch
But
that
beyond
one,
that, I would say, but there's another really good one, Warning from Space. I'm not nearly as enthusiastic about that one, but it's pretty good. But yeah,
Hangar 18 was good too.
What's that?
Hangar 18 was good too.
Yeah, Hangar 18 is fantastic. They take a swipe at James Wen that I very much appreciate.
Oh man, yeah. Assignment Outer Space was a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Snow Beast is a good one. Just anything, guys. Really anything.
and
Don't watch
okay, look,
don't start
hey,
with the
how
Veil
about
Part
this?
2 or Flash Gordon Part 2. But
Well, yeah, because you need the other stuff for that. But I just thought of a perfect thing for all you want to be like, well, it's not Mike, Kevin, and Bill. Go watch Batman versus Superman.
you get literally everybody.
Yeah,
There's even Trace and Frank's segment in that.
yeah, and you get everyone's kind of like style. But I think Matthew and Ian, they have some of like the main stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
It's like I think Matthew or Ian, probably Matthew, said it'd be like when they gave it this stuff, they'd be like, "Are you sure you want to give us this?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." But yeah, no, go get that. It has everybody.
They're well deserving of it, guys.
Yeah. And you get to watch Batman versus Superman, which is one of my favorite movies. Unironically, I'm not kidding. I have notoriously bad taste in movies.
Yeah.
I'm a big Zack Snyder fan.
Oh man. Well, I think that's gonna kind of wrap it up for us today.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoy the podcast, you can support us either by subscribing right here on Twitch or sending some bits our way. Even you can head over to patreon.com/TrueBlueRiffcast, which I am putting in the chat right now. True Blue Riffcast. There's that. So if you want to help us out there, you can do that there. And if not, just make sure you give us a follow here on Twitch, so you can get notified whenever we go live with a new episode, or if we're streaming some games, which pretty much anytime soon is just going to be the RiffTrax game. I'm not gonna lie, I have too much fun playing that with other people.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
They did just put out another an update to fix some of the stuff. You can make RiffBot stupid, so it doesn't play the perfect riff to go with each thing, which is kind of nice, because otherwise it literally just turns into a game of try not to let RiffBot win.
But I don't. Well, RiffBot can't vote. Here's the
Right.
thing, I just don't vote for RiffBot. I was just
Right.
like,
Usually you can tell what one is RiffBot.
Yeah.
If you're playing Write a Riff, you can always tell because it plays the actual riff from that scene in the movie. If you're playing Pick a Riff, sometimes it's a little more complicated, but usually you can tell. And I always point it out whenever I see it
I'm not
to
a
the
fan
chat.
of Pick a
But
Riff because I always suck at that. But like, write your own riff. I just like, I'm not even gonna lie, I kill at that.
yeah, I like Pick a Riff as a warm up. Like, I like doing a game or like a 6-round game or two of Pick a Riff, just to kind of get the juices flowing. But there is they did some other things about letting Twitch chat pick the next clip that
That's weird.
the players have to riff. Like, they get a couple clips to choose from. There's a couple other things that they implemented. They're not going to be on the Switch version yet, unfortunately, and that's the version that I have, of course.
I have the PS4 version. Maybe we can play on my channel.
Yeah,
sometime.
that'd be fun too. Until the next update, the next content update, they're doing more clips and more pre-written riffs as another free content update, which should be coming out soon. I don't think they gave a date, but they said soon. So I like the fact that they're already pumping new stuff into the game. I like that it's getting supported. I think I want to see if I can ask them if I can get an answer about how their sales have been, just to see, because it's probably more than I'm anticipating. Just because I know there's more RiffTrax fans out there that, I don't have anything to do with.
Yeah.
More than the people that we talk to and stuff. But yeah. Enough of that. We'll be doing that. Maybe we'll play some of that on Monday at some point in time. Before I have to...
let me know before I go on my morning walk and I'm clear out here and can't play.
I'll be back in 45 minutes.
That's how long it takes me to get back.
Oh, man. But until next time, guys, I'm Jeremy. You can find me on Twitter at PBandAwesome. You can find me anywhere that if you find a PBandAwesome, it's probably me. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at TBRiffcast. Dave, that's your cue. Oh, no. I lost Dave.
And I'm Dave.
Oh, there he is.
On Twitter at DChadwick on Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram and all these other places. Yeah.
I thought I lost you.
What?
You disappeared.
Wait, where am I?
I don't know. It got super quiet all of a sudden. I don't know.
Oh, I'm right here.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. Well, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, I'll just do this real quick. Check me out on Twitter at DChadwick. At DChadwickAuthor. And check me out on davechadwick.info. Check out the books and the audiobooks right there. Check out Tumbleweed Dossier by General Hospital Star Haley Pullis. Go get that. And Son of Santa should be finished up here pretty quickly. I just got an update on that yesterday from our good friend Colette. And I'm very excited to get that out there. So, yeah, thumbs up.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you next time right here on the True Blue Riffcast.
Rock till you die.